General strategy for factoring. This is going to be a pretty short video. All I want to do is really summarize what we've been learning so far about factoring and give you an outline of the general approach we should take when we're encountering any given factoring problem. So the first step is to factor any greatest common factors. Just take a look if there's any number in common, if there's any variable in common, remove it ASAP. Next up, decide what type of polynomial it is. And in that case, you might already be done. So what I mean by that is after you factor out the greatest common factor, if you see two terms, it might be a difference of squares polynomial, in which case you can use the difference of squares technique to factor it. If the polynomial has three terms, there's a few options. It could be a simple trinomial where there's no a value. It could be a messy trinomial where you do have the a value, or it could be a perfect square trinomial where you factor using that perfect square method we saw. The last option is if the polynomial has four terms or more, potentially, you might be able to solve it by factoring by grouping. So those are basically what you're looking for in any given problem. What strategy am I going to use based on how many terms are around? Now, the thing I mentioned here about maybe you're done already is that sometimes a factoring problem, the only thing you can do is factor a greatest common factor, and then there's nothing more that needs to be done. So don't look for these patterns, but keep in mind that it might be as simple as factoring out a greatest common factor. So that's all there really is to this video, just to give you an outline of these general using how many terms to guide your strategy when trying to factor polynomials. So with that, the rest of this will be looking at multiple examples and using this strategy.